Hey you guys, it's me Gemstone. I wanted to talk to you guys about the role of a reader. I felt like it was something that was good to discuss because of the readings that I've been doing, the Lenormand readings that I've been doing for you guys. And I love it. Thank you so much for any question that you've asked because it's so helpful to me to practice to get more comfortable with the Lenormand cards and to kind of improve my study, because I'm actually really enjoying learning Lenormand. I feel like it's definitely one I'm gonna stick with for a long time in terms of like committing myself to this study to become a lot more confident because I'm just really enjoying it. And I think now it's starting to feel more and more like tarot. I still feel like I have some stumbling blocks with certain cards, but I always think that when you are learning a divination system and there's like certain cards or something in particular that is difficult for you to memorize or to really relate to in a card, it's probably got something to do with maybe there's something that card needs to teach you or something like that. That's why you're having a bit of difficulty with it. So there are like certain cards in the Lenormand that I do really need to become more comfortable with in terms of like as soon as it appears in the reading, being able to really understand what it's trying to say and things. But generally, it's going well, so that's good. Now, the reason why I thought it was important to discuss the role of a reader is because I think sometimes people have a certain idea about what a reader is. And I always feel like, for one, the main thing is I think that any reader, regardless of who it is really supposed to be there as just to give advice and strictly for the interpretation of the cards that they're using. I don't believe in giving over your power to somebody else, regardless of who they are. And so, even when it comes to your future, even when it comes to the questions that you ask and you want to find out about, never feel like whatever is said in the reading is like you're limited by whatever is said. I always believe that you make your own destiny, and I always believe in following your heart when it comes to a decision in your life. I don't believe in going against what you feel is the best choice for you in order to adhere to what somebody else wants you to do. I think in this life, our sole purpose is to experience it in the way that we're destined to. And sometimes one thing, and I'm not even going to say sometimes, one event or one thing changing in your life can completely change the outcome of your entire future, even if it's the most minute thing. And it's like, and to me it shows how delicate life is. It's like there, in order to for something to unravel or for the story of our lives to be told, it's like any little thing, any little aspect can change our destiny or how our future turns out. And I think as a reader we have a very big responsibility in making sure that any client or querent or anyone that we do readings for understands that they have a choice in their own life and their destiny and the course of their destiny. The cards don't control anything. It's you that controls everything. And even then, a tarot reading can indicate something, and it may not have the best result. It may not have the result that you want it to, but it still doesn't mean that that thing can't happen to you. I say that because I truly believe that we, even though the tarot is like a really great tool to sort of determining what can possibly happen to us in the future, it depends on outcomes based on where you are now. So let's say, for instance, I'm doing a reading. I want to find out if a certain profession is right for me. Now, let's say at this time I haven't finished my qualifications or anything in order to work in this profession. And I want to know again, will I be able to work in this profession? Now, it all depends on whether I pass or fail my exams. I haven't done that yet. So basically, if like right now I'm not revising properly, I'm not doing what I need to do, the cards may show me if you carry on the way you are, you're not going to pass your exams and you're not going to be in the profession you want to be in. Now, I have the freedom to change that outcome because I could say, okay, I'm going to start revising now. I'm going to take it seriously and everything. And then I could, again, do a reading for myself. And then it shows me, oh, you know what? The future looks better for you because, again, I've committed myself. I'm more likely to pass. So now I have a better outcome. So if you kind of understand how the tarot works, it works based on where you are right now in your life. If you change where you are, your outcome will be completely different. So therefore, I always feel like nothing is set in stone when it comes to a message that you get in a reading. Nothing is set in stone. You can always change your destiny. You can always change the outcome. And on top of that, I believe, honestly, I believe in miracles. I believe that things can happen that don't make no sense. Nobody can explain it, but it just happens. Life just works out that way. I mean, I can say that for myself because I would say one situation in my life that really taught me to believe in miracles was that I was in a van accident and I sustained hardly any injuries. Like I literally was crossing the street, got hit by a van, and weirdly enough, I don't even know how I didn't fall backwards or fall on my side and like knock my head or something like that. I don't even know how it happened. Somehow it hit me and I spun around instead of actually falling back or sideways or anything. And I ended up actually falling on my front, landing on my knees and my hand, and all I sustained was like just two scraped knees and a scraped hand. And everyone was like saying, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky! Oh my gosh, you're so lucky! Like it could have been so much worse. Your injuries like should have been so much worse than what they were." But again, that's what taught me to believe that anything is possible. And it's like even that incident, it taught me in two ways to believe anything is possible. One, because of the injuries I sustained, and two, because at the time when this accident happened, I was just sort of taking my tarot journey more seriously. I had been sort of dabbling in tarot, but I wasn't really like doing it every day or anything like that because I just didn't have the time. I was too sort of committed to the work that I was doing, my other like job and all this other stuff. I just didn't really have time to devote to tarot like I wanted to. And so the accident happened, but the earlier that day, I did a reading for the day. And the reading showed me that in the evening, I was going to be spending it with my family. And I couldn't understand why or my family would be around me. So I just kind of thought to myself, okay, maybe it's just showing up in the cards. I don't know if that's even going to happen. Weirdly enough, the cards did not tell me that I was going to get into a van accident. But what it did tell me was that my family was going to be all around me. And that day in the evening, the exact time that the tarot basically, because I did a clock spread, which basically is a day-to-day spread that you can do, which is literally like a clock face. And so you can, it's almost like tells you basically what to expect throughout the day. And the last one was this family card. It was a Four of Wands, and I didn't understand it then. But then, when after the accident happened, and we called an ambulance, all this stuff happened, and I was in the hospital. My brothers came because I have two other brothers. They came. My mom was like constantly calling me, making sure I was okay. I had calls from uncles, aunties, all these different people they asking me if I'm okay. And so it's like I didn't see how that outcome was gonna happen, but then it made entirely like sense why that card came up because my family was all around me. But it just was under circumstances which I would have never expected. So the tarot and the cards, they work in very mysterious ways and interesting ways and sometimes funny ways. But like I was saying previously, I really want people to understand that, especially for me as a reader, is that I feel that really my purpose is to just serve the Quran in terms of delivering the message that I see. But I don't believe in controlling anyone, telling people what to do, and again, not allowing people to make a decision on how it is they choose to live their life. I just don't believe that. I think that if your soul is calling for something, do it. as long as it's not hurting anybody else, just do it. That's how I live my life personally. I've had readings in the past that told me certain outcomes were bad, and I did it anyways. It's like I had to, even though they were right and it turned out bad, but I had to experience that because my soul had to go through that process. It needed to learn that lesson. It needed to go through whatever was, it was supposed to go through. And I think sometimes you just have to learn certain things for yourself. Like, you can't be told what to do. You have to go through that experience to just to be able to know that, okay, I did it, I tried it, it didn't work for me. So that's what I would say. I'm especially saying that, especially for the questions where people were asking about fertility things and all that kind of stuff. Again, there is, to me, even if the cards don't look positive for, let's say, a fertility issue, or having a child or something like that, again, you just don't know how things are going to be. There's so many people that have had tons of like issues, health wise, that have stopped them from having kids, and yet miraculously they're able to get pregnant and have children and everything like that. So I always believe that there's always this thing out there that makes it possible to even achieve something that could even seem impossible in the moment. So again, I would say stay optimistic about life. Stay optimistic about the things that you desire and what you want for yourself. And just always know that there's always something out there. It's the way the world is set up. There's always something out there that the universe can provide you with, just all of a sudden, that you may not even expect. Sometimes you may not even have asked for, you may not have even wanted, as well as something that could be perfect for you in your life at the time when it happens. So that's just what I wanted to say to you guys. Peace and many blessings to you. I'll be seeing you. Bye. And also, if you have more questions or anything, just go to that video, the last one I did, and you can post them there. I'll still answer questions. And if I haven't gotten to you yet, I definitely will be getting to you very, very soon. Okay. Possibly today. Definitely tomorrow, though. Alright. See you guys. Bye.